What's going on, everyone? Another knife review here for you guys. This is of the Spyderco Zulu. This is a collaboration between Spyderco and Jens Anso, a Danish knife maker. This is a knife, for me, when I first saw, like a lot of knives, I thought it was ugly, I thought it was impractical, I hated the recurve. All these weird curves and the corrugated handles I thought was kind of just a gimmick and all that kind of stuff. And little did I know, Jens Anso is, an awesome knife maker. And as I've seen some other knife reviewers out there reviewing actual custom Anso Zulus with the frame lock, I started breaking down and becoming very attracted to those knives. The one thing about the custom Zulu is that it's a titanium frame lock and it's a tip down carry. So one thing that's nice about this knife is it does allow for tip up. Unfortunately, they left this little cutout here, which I think really detracts from the look. But anyway, that's some preliminary opinions about this knife. Really quick. Spec Breakdowns. It's a 3-inch blade and S30V, 3.4 ounces. Overall length is just under 7 inches. This knife, when I saw it in reviews and all that kind of stuff, I thought it was going to be a little bit larger. When I pulled it out yesterday, the knife, especially the width here, was a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be. But at the same time, it started to grow on me, and I really like the look of this knife. I've been looking at it for the past couple of weeks, and it's just one of those knives that has been kind of just like gnawing at me, to get it. And so I finally broke down and did get it. One thing about Jens Anso, obviously this corrugated G10 pattern is what's, it's kind of his little trademark. And it's really cool. They kind of just take a Dremel and they hit it this way, and then from the other side they kind of hit the other way, and so you get this really nice what they call topographical pattern. So but again, it's just a corrugated handle. It's just really beautiful. The one thing about the Spyderco compared to the customs that I've seen, though, you can kind of see how there's still some flat areas on this G10, which I think takes away from the overall look of this knife. It could be better, if they kind of just hit the Dremel a little bit further in, they'd be able to get rid of that flatness, that flat pattern, these little parts right here. On this side, there's a particularly pronounced flat area right here, and I think that's mainly so that the pocket clip can slip in and out of the pocket easier. So I mean, that's okay, I can understand that, but for production work, you're kind of seeing some of the lack of details here, and that's a little bit surprising to me for this knife, because it's made. This is one of the Taiwanese made knives. You can see there the Taizong Taiwan sign. So this is in the same factory, I'm assuming, as the Sage series, as well as like the Gale Bradley, the Volatin. A lot of some of the recent, finely crafted, well-made Spydercos from the Taiwan factory. Yeah, those are some details that I would expect them to have paid more attention to. Another thing that was a little bit just a bother was, in a lot of the Seki City Japan blades, the knives are really hard cut. The edges here are all really sharp. I've actually cut myself before on one of these edges, and I felt like the Taiwanese blades weren't like that. On my Sage right here, these cuts are a lot more, I feel like, forgiving. They're kind of rounded out on the scales, on the liners, and all that kind of stuff. The liner's okay here, but the blade here, it was really sharp. So yeah, those are just some things for me that I thought were kind of strange. Overall fit and finish, though, of this blade is awesome. It's great. Perfectly centered right here. and action is super smooth. You know, I can do the middle finger flick or the thumb flick without any problems, and lockup is super tight. You know, on this Anso, you just get the massive belly right here, which is one of the things that again, you know, I hated before, and now I think is just beautiful. You know, it really offers a great cutting surface. You can put a lot of pressure down on this curve right here if you're cutting down this way. So I don't think there's really anything you couldn't really slash through on this with the Zulu here. And then with the recurve, you can put a lot of pressure to cut things, drag cuts and stuff like that. So compared to these other Spydercos, you know, the Sage one, very similarly shaped, very similarly sized, 3-inch blades. Handle on the Sage is a little bit longer. Against the Paramilitary 2, also one of my favorite Spyderco knives. You know, obviously this is a somewhat larger 3.5-inch blade. The handle is much larger as well. But ergonomics of this blade are pretty great. The down here on the G10 is a little bit rough, or a little bit sharp actually. So, excuse me. It's a little bit sharp, so I think if you're doing some hard cutting, it might dig into, there might be some hot spots here on the G10. As opposed to, say, the Benchmade here, I don't think there's any hot spots on this knife. It's so smooth, and I'm not a huge fan of Benchmades actually, but this is one that has stuck with me that I really like, with the axis lock and, you know, this thumb hole deployment here that they ripped off from Spyderco. But you know, this is probably my smoothest blade out there. You know, for deployment, it's just crazy smooth. But you get similar. The reason I brought this one out is because of, you know, you get a very large belly here on the 746, and the curves on this blade, you know, on the lum are awesome. And it definitely, if I squeeze hard here, you know, there's actually quite a few hot spots that I'm feeling right now in my hand. As opposed to this one, I can squeeze as hard as I want, and there's not a single hot spot. Even on the pocket clip, there's no hot spot. Yeah. And then of course compared to the Sebenza 21, yeah, just a very different blade. Overall, you know, I wanted to get this knife and try it out, mainly because of the just the form of the knife and the beauty of the knife. I think it's an extremely attractive knife, and if I ever had a chance to get my hands on a custom Anso, I would totally go for it, based on what I see in this knife. And this is kind of just a test run, you know, of if I could ever see myself getting an Anso. And yeah, if the price is cheap enough, then maybe I'll pull for one. But you know, for the price of this knife at sub $100 or so, this is a great knife, and I think it'd be a great EDC. Good, you know, you do get a lot of grip with the handles, but again, if you're squeezing really tight, which you probably won't be doing on a normal EDC, under normal EDC usage, then it's going to be fine. Inside you can see the milled out liners, steel liners, and then flow through design with the pillar standoffs here. It's a 3mm blade stock, so same as the Emerson's and Sebenza and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my initial impressions and review of the Spyderco Zulu. Just let me know what you guys think. I think this is a really cool EDC knife, and I'm gonna carry this around and see how it fares. And I don't know, maybe we'll see if I do a follow-up video or whatnot. So alright, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.